Amended, roll call.
Representative Henderson,
Aye.
Representative Larson,
Aye.
Representative Sherwood, Representative Stitt,
Aye.
Representative Walters, Representative Swanisser,
Aye.
Chairman Nicholas.
Aye. Okay, next we'll do House Bill 184. We keep this up, I can call and have my grill lit at 6:30, so. 184, ETS Information Security Division. We have an explanation of the bill. This is a House Appropriations bill. Representative Walters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not going to walk through it page by page, but I believe the intent was to create a cybersecurity division within the
Bless you.
ETS, Department of ETS. And we discussed this in December in JAC. Originally it was going to be a GIS and cybersecurity, and we parsed out the GIS, and this is cybersecurity only. And so the bill just walks through how all of that will be effectuated.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
I have a question. Apologize, I was not here when this bill originally came through. Can you give me a backstory on why we're creating a division but not staffing to support that work? Thank you.
Come on up. Good question.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Sherwood, Timothy Sheehan, Interim Director for the Department of Enterprise Technology Services. Again. Representative Sherwood, we already have staff in the agency right now who perform a lot of these functions. What we're looking to do is actually officially set up the division in what their proper function should be. So this has no appropriation, no staffing. We're going to use existing resources to move this forward.
So just tell us why it's needed, just to help out the new folks.
Mr. Chairman, if I may also bring up our Chief Information Security Officer, we have Aaron Roberts here who can also assist in part of this, but right, the main function of why we're doing this is, ETS does have the responsibility for maintaining security of our information systems across the agency. We have staff that perform a wide range of functions from, just looking at log analysis traffic of all the stuff that's happening on the network to doing system reviews of existing systems, new systems that are coming into the state. And so this kind of spells out what we would like those folks to actually do, so there is no ambiguity in those functions.
Nope. Okay. Any public comment? I believe there was a public comment to do with a slight amendment, so come on up, Sandy. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Sandy Caldwell, Executive Director of the Wyoming Community College Commission. And we just came to bring forward just a potential clarifying language. When this bill first came out, it was after there had been a combined bill. We had provided some early language or concerns that we had with it. And then when the final bill came, it was after the interim period was already there. So really the concern that we have is to ensure that part of the language in section 9.2.2904 is carried into 2908 as this division is created. We have in fact talked with Interim Director Sheehan about this language, and that would just be our main concern. Very simple clarification could be added on page 2. I do want to mention just a couple of things related to this. The community colleges and the university are both included under the exemption. We could propose language that only considers the community colleges under the commission because that's our wheelhouse. However, to bring in the university a little more broadly, I think would would probably be meaningful for you.
Okay, Representative Larson.
Director Caldwell, thank you, but just to help us a little bit here, when you say that the university and the community college are the exception, you meaning that they're not agencies of the state? What, just clarify that, go into just a little more detail of why we need to add this language.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Larson, thank you for helping me out this late afternoon. I certainly should have done that. Yes, the university and the community colleges are not state agencies, and this component 2904 specifies that the university and the community colleges are exempted under that for ETS purposes. We just wanted to make sure that that got included in this new division and section as appropriate.
Mr. Chairman.
So, Mr. Chairman, a follow-up. University of Wyoming, I think, is pretty standard. Community colleges serpentine through the statutes being agencies depending on if they're how state funds are used, and not a state agency for when they're not. Like on capital construction, it's a project that's got, then they're considered an agency of the state and had to comply with those statutes. So then I'm getting to the question. So then is this then, are you stating then that this oversight by state is in this particular situation then is not, you would not consider yourself to be an agency and under the jurisdiction of this governing agency?
Mr. Chairman
Go ahead.
and Representative Larson, yes, and I followed exactly what you just said. This has to do with the fact the state agency itself, the Community College Commission, would fall under this. Absolutely, no question whatsoever. This is specifically related to the administrative computing system at the colleges. And for example, in capital construction, it does within our statutes, it makes the distinction within there that it has to come through the commission for the colleges. For the administrative computing system, it is only at the colleges. It has to be purchased through the commission. So that's why the exception is in 2904.
Thank you.
So I'm curious why we need to insert the language. Because typically ETS has the option or an agency has the option of going to ETS and asking for an exemption because it's not in their wheelhouse basically. And we've had those discussions in the past. So I'm just curious from your feedback as the director, how would you handle this now?
Mr. Chairman, if you look at some of our other enabling statutes, it's pretty consistent with the exemption of the community college and UW. I will say we do actively collaborate. We do work with the community college and UW CIOs as appropriate. There is a level of autonomy there that I do believe is, again, appropriate. So for me, this is it's one of those, it makes sense.
So my point is, this is really already happening already. Was that fair, Sandy?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I would say yes, but we have to revisit this conversation a lot. And interim director has been great to work with, but we do have to revisit this, and having the clarifying language as we see in other locations really helps to clarify that as very specific divisions are brought in.
Go ahead.
So kind of an interesting conversation to you, Director Sheehan, because until this bill passes, you really don't have that authorization, or we don't really specify that that's cybersecurity is in your wheelhouse. That's what we're trying to establish, I believe. And as such, it may be working now because it's just by default, because there's nothing there outlining it. So as we define that or refine your role in that, the suggestion is that we make it more clear about who you have jurisdiction over and how.
Mr. Chairman,
Question.
Representative Larson, that I agree.
Okay,
Mr.
Representative Smith.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Director Caldwell, if you could just help me with a specific example. Let's imagine the Chief Information Security Officer says, hey, we think there's a vulnerability at one of the community colleges because they're not protecting student data or they're not protecting this or that. Under your proposed amendment, the community college could just say, we don't care what you think, we're going to do what we do. I mean, is that the effect of this amendment?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
Representative Stith, no, sir, it wouldn't happen that way. But then the ETS is not required then to come in and do that work at the college itself. We already work very collaboratively. It isn't a separate agency or entity or division within the agency now with ETS. But there is sort of a collaborative relationship on how that works, on what part ETS can help manage, for example, with a network and that kind of thing, and what mitigation the college has to do internally on their own. So I think that's why the clarifying language is helpful in making sure it's clear on all sides, both sides.
Mr. Chairman, so is it the reverse then that the community college might call ETS and say, gosh, we really need help with this firewall problem, and ETS can say, we don't have to, we don't care. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out which.
Both ways. Yeah. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Stith, it does have it in another section of the statute that we absolutely can collaborate with ETS, and we do. And I will tell you that we have unfortunately had a very bad cyber situation at one of the colleges in which ETS did help a lot, particularly the person sitting next to me.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, just to, I guess, complement what is the discussion. One of the concerns about this particular bill, some of the language in this particular section appears to be very broad and bring in the colleges under the purview of ETS as a kind of an administrative agency. But each of the colleges are distinct special districts, local governments. They each have a board of trustees. And we wanted to be clear that while we will continue to collaborate with the colleges and ETS, that we didn't want it to be either implied or stated that ETS has direct oversight of the college's independent boards of trustees.
Okay, further questions? Further questions? Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none. We'll close public comment. We have a motion on the bill. Moved by Representative Walters, second by Representative Henderson. Do we have any amendments on the bill? Representative Larson.
Mr. Chairman.
Amendment 2 by like B.
Yeah, thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, I would move that on page 2, line 4, that we use kind of the broader language that they have that would also be less specific to this college and inclusive of them and the university. And so after regulation, we would insert except when information technology services are provided to an exempt entity per WS 922904 AI. And I've got this written down, Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie, we'll give this to you. So basically, does everyone understand the motion? It just directs these towards exempt colleges and
And
UW.
From
So
direct
pretty
oversight.
simple language. Okay, all in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that motion carries. Any other amendments? Question on the bill? As amended.
Representative Henderson. Representative Larson.
Aye.
Representative Sherwood. Representative Stitt.
Aye.
Representative Walters. Representative Swanitzer.
Aye.
Chairman Nicholas.
All right, so Representative Larson, you want to present that on the floor?
I was hoping you would ask.
I thought so. Okay, next, local government distributions. So this is also a House Appropriations bill. I don't think we really need to walk through the bill. Representative Walters, just why don't you basically explain what this is, just for the folks who are listening? And our new patriots.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe this takes us to the governor's recommendation of a $13 million increase, or roughly $13 million increase to the local government distribution. And it remains under the distribution is under the current formula that is used for the existing.
What we call the
105.
Madden plus BBOT amendment.
Correct.
Correct. Go ahead.
I may be wrong, so I'm asking my colleague. I thought the governor's rec was 26. We reduced it and this reflects 13.
Former member Schwartz is saying that's correct.
So, Mr. Chairman, as a whole, then what we done is we put in 105, then we added 15. 105 was under the Madden / BBOT. We added 15 last session. In addition to that, under the Wonky Hicks amendment, and then he's not here, I can say that. And then we add this 13 in addition to that under the BBOT / Madden amendment. So all in all, it's 105 and 15, that's 120, 133
Yep, 133. Good man.
over 2 years.
Actually for the remainder of the biennium. So it wouldn't be a full 2 years. It would be added on to just this biennium. So 15 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Any public comment on the bill? We will close public comment. I gotta delay my grill. So I can see that you want us to reduce the amount by looking your eye.
Mr. Chairman,
Please proceed. Yeah, go
members
ahead.
of the committee, I'm Jeremiah Riemann here on behalf of the Wyoming County Commissioners Association. We request that you please not reduce the amount any further. Certainly appreciated the governor's recommendation. Are not going to turn back the additional 13 million, which would happen in the second half of this biennium. We're certainly appreciative of that. We support the distribution formula that's presented here. And I think with that, I'd stand for questions.
Any questions? Okay. Go ahead. Time for the cities.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. David Fraser, Executive Director, Wyoming Association of Municipalities. I just echo what Mr. Riemann said. We appreciate you doing this. As I indicated last time, it's good timing for this. And I would stand for any questions. I'd mention that to my right is the Upton Town Clerk, Kelly Millar. And we're glad to have her down here with us today. She's very active in our association as well as the Wyoming Association of Municipal Clerks and Treasurers.
Welcome. Yeah.
And she's a bobcat. So I'd stand for any questions, but I also ask if the chair would recognize Ms. Millar as well.
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you to the committee and Mr. Chairman. So as Dave mentioned, I am Kelly Millar, the clerk treasurer for the town of Upton, and just wanted to say a big thank you. We certainly don't want it to see reduced anymore, but we really appreciate you guys throwing us anything. So we were doing some math earlier. It looks like the town of Upton, under what the LSO had worked up, would be about another $60,000 on what we're budgeted for the next year. What we kind of expect, I guess, that's like a 15% match to a $375,000 project, which is a big deal to us. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Follow up. It sounds like there's a potential demonstration project for rare earth minerals that's headed your way. Can you tell us how that will impact Upton and or if you have a feel for how that's going?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Larson, that's the rumor we hear, and we're really holding out hope for that. Our superintendent of public works is somewhere in the building. I think he's trying to track down Senator Driscoll, but he has been the main contact for that. So we are anticipating definitely waterworks and obviously sewer that it will impact us with. They're going to be just outside of city limits. So they'll tie onto our system from there. And I'm not sure how that impacts property taxes for us. It's a little less meaningful than it is for the county from that standpoint. But we are preparing to for that, the impacts there, and then also the influx. We've had some people move in just even through the pandemic, come to live to Upton, which is a great thing. It's always ask them what brought you here, and you know, it's the best town on earth in the middle of everything. So we are looking forward to that and preparing for it. I'm not sure what's to be expected. They're still in designing and permitting.
So we did expand the annexation bill, so perhaps you can annex them in the city if you need to.
Mr. Chair, I've been following that one too. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. We have a motion on the bill. Move second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Representative Henderson.
Aye.
Representative Larson.
Oh, I apologize.
Representative Sherwood. Representative Stith.
Aye.
Representative Walters. Representative Swanitzer.
Aye.
Chairman Nicholas.
Aye. So Representative Stith, you want to present this on the floor?
Oh, I would be happy to, Mr. Chairman. Thank you
Alright.
so much.
Okay, I think that closes the books on anything we have tonight. Is that right? Jackie, are we done? Oh, I'm sorry. What? No. So what, I think that's yeah. No, I think we're done, right? Okay, we'll stand adjourned.
Do we have anything on this?
These proposed suggestions for tomorrow when that bill comes back up. Come on, we can